Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of our weekly MMA talk show called Chokes and Eye Pokes. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe down below. Please like the video, share it far and wide. Please also make sure to tune in next week, same time, same place. We'll be having a special guest help us go through the UFC 290 card, and we're really looking forward to it. On to this week's episode. I'm your host, as always, Wern. I'm joined by my co-host, Jack. How's it going, Jack?
It's going good. I'm seeing the neck. What happened to your neck?
Dude. Okay, so for those of you, like, maybe you can catch it. It's actually right above the jugular.
Hectic.
I went to go get my beard cleaned up at the barber I always go to, and it's actually the guy that I always go to from that barber. And like, he did his usual thing, cut the beard, trimmed it and everything, and then
tip enough.
Someone made a joke that I was like, you should never cheat on your barber, like he found out, but no. So they put that little thing over your neck to like stop, I don't know, the hair falling down or whatever it is, and he took it off and cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he wasn't focusing or what, but like as he was still cleaning up, the blade didn't go all the way through, so he didn't lift it off, and he was pulled away at the same time.
You know. It's a big one.
Yeah, it is, like, it's pretty big. But like after it happened, we're both sitting there. He goes, and I'm like looking at him, waiting to do something. So I look down, but I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see. But I didn't see blood, so I was like, okay, it didn't feel too deep. And then he went and got some weird, like, I don't know, iron drops or something like that basically let it clot straight away.
Yeah.
And then when I got home, I saw like how hectic it was. It's right above the jugular.
Yeah. No, that could have been like one less episode. Well, I mean,
almost on 1,000 ways to die, or dumb ways to die or something like that. So luckily, no, it's not so bad. So it's just it's probably like just skin deep.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah, looks worse than it is, I guess. But yeah, pretty scary, right above the jugular. Yeah. Interesting weekend again, and week as always of MMA. We had the UFC fight night, Topuria versus Emmett. Quite a cool fight night.
Yeah, I think the two main ones. So what it was Maycee versus Amanda and Topuria versus Josh Emmett. I think those two were really good fights.
Yeah, especially the Maycee Barber and Amanda Ribas fight. That was a very, very close fight.
Yeah, I haven't seen like a fight that exciting just in a fight night. Sorry. Yeah, just in a fight night in a while. Yeah. Like, that was really exciting.
Yeah, and there were a few other cool fights as well. I think it's good to for us to have a look at the fights and leading up to that fight, and then obviously to the main event.
Yeah.
So the first one was Brendan Allen beat Bruno Silva via submission. Rear naked choke. I think we both had Brendan Allen to win that one, right?
Yeah, because he's number 11.
13, I think. Yeah, he's 13. Yeah.
Like strong favorite. That who's he? What's the name of these?
Bruno Silva.
Bruno Silva. Yeah,
we didn't give him any chance.
Yeah, he was like 43 in the UFC and like very, very green. Yeah. But then he also called out Dricus and
amongst others.
Yeah, Cannonier, and was saying that he wants a title shot next. Like that. Okay, well, who do you think he should get next?
Well, okay. First off, he said he thinks he's in line for a title fight by next year. Okay. Yeah. So that's the first thing. And he said Izzy specifically. So he thinks Izzy's going to beat everybody till next year. And we've got our thoughts on that, but basically, well, Robert and Dricus and or the next in line, whatever it is, or whoever it is. But then he said, okay, but then I want to fight Cannonier. Okay. So that's also like basically hedging all your bets.
Yeah.
Or then Dricus. Did he say specifically Dricus?
He said the loser of Dricus Whittaker, and that he would like to beat Dricus.
Okay. So he obviously thinks Dricus is going to lose that one. So he's kind of mapped it out in his head. I don't know. Strickland probably would have been a better go. You and I were talking a little bit about him and Strickland maybe running it back.
Yeah. I think that like they've now both like made more of names for themselves in the UFC. So I think that like it makes more sense now. It's like more of a name draw, especially since like Strickland, who he's versing, who we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, I think that kind of makes some sense.
Yeah, I think maybe they're trying to, and again we'll get to it, but I think they're trying to build Magomedov up, and maybe they figure Strickland's the best way to do that because of the style. But it would be nice for him to maybe, does Costa have a fight? I don't think Paulo Costa's got a fight, does he?
So, no.
I haven't seen anything about Paulo Costa.
The comes out is like it's very wishy-washy though.
Yeah, they haven't actually announced it. Yeah, they haven't actually got that. So maybe put him against Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa is still a good measuring stick for anybody wanting to be in that top 10.
Yeah,
because Strickland is tied up, and then you've got Derek Brunson at 8. So Dricus, just big news, by the way. Also, Dricus went up to 5th, so congratulations on that one, Dricus. Not that it really matters. I mean, of course it matters, but if you beat Robert All, it's you're still number 1 contender in any event. But congrats, first time I think anyone's ever, possibly second time. I think Trevor Prangley might have been top 5 South African
in the UFC.
Yeah, I think Rico said when he fought him, he was top 5. Anyway, big congratulations, Dricus, on that one. So yeah, it's. I mean, if you look at that top 10, the fight that makes sense, the people that aren't tied up, and especially if he doesn't want to wait, there's only 6 months left, so it's probably 1, maybe 2 fights left.
Yeah.
For Elon, probably old Paulo Costa.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I would like to, after that comment, a part of me wants to see him versus Dricus at some point, because I think Dricus, his style, he would crush him.
Yeah.
And like I would like to see that play out, but like it doesn't make sense right now, not with Dricus at least. No.
Yeah, I think Dricus doesn't. I don't think Dricus needs to face anybody outside the top 5 besides maybe a Paulo Costa if Paulo Costa has a good win.
Yeah,
but I think if obviously everything going well, it's beat Robert Whittaker, fight for title, win the title, and then maybe you can take on all comers.
Yeah.
But it's a big step down then to go and take on a number 13 rank or whatever. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, but hey, dude, listen, Bo Allen was placed above Dricus in a fight card in his UFC debut.
Yeah. Bo Nickel.
Oh, Bo Nickel, excuse me. Yeah. Brendan Allen, Bo Nickel.
Yeah.
So, and I feel that's because he's American.
Yeah.
So Brendan Allen, American too. They might.
There's a lot of those in the middleweights as well, because like Sean Strickland, I think to a large extent, same thing.
Yeah, shouldn't be so highly ranked.
Yeah,
especially after 2 losses, and then one is last one, but yeah.
Yeah,
fair enough. Okay, but good win, I guess. I mean, but it is expected, so that's. It is what it is.
Yeah.
This one you got right. David Onama beat Gabriel Santos by knockout, and then did the tribute to Adesanya. Amazing victory. Changed camps, so you can see straight away
the fighting style.
Yeah, the fighting style and how well he fought. The change.
Absolutely.
So good win.
It was cool to see as well, because I think the first round he was losing, and you could see it was really cool to see him come back like that. I would like to see him maybe like get a ranked opponent next. I think he can handle it.
Possibly really good. Yeah, he's in the featherweights, dude. It's there's a lot happening in the featherweights, and there's a lot of good fighters. So you never know. I mean, I'd still like to see Ego versus Holloway. We say it every week, but maybe I don't know if Onama's ready yet for Ego, but maybe that's a good fight to make in future events.
Yeah. Oof, that would be an interesting one, because I would like to see them both get like I mean, there's only so much real estate at the top.
Yeah, that's true. But that's the thing about the UFC. The guys, the best fight the best, and you can't coast through. Well, some people can, but you shouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a very unfortunate one. Austen Lane and Justin Tafa. It was a no contest after 29 minutes. I like that at 29 seconds. I like it says no contest, accidental eye poke. It was obviously accidental, but I don't know if you saw the image of when his finger was actually in Tafa's eye.
It was like, that was deep. That like, shame. Can you see? Do we know like what the... Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything. So, I mean, I can imagine you would struggle to see.
Yeah.
So, sure, that was hectic. So not really much to talk about because it was so quick. We do, however, have a top 5 based off of these no contests, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, that one, not really much we can analyze there, unfortunately.
Well, have you seen the Trevor Whitman gloves? Just as a side note, the ones that keep your hands more closed.
Oh, no.
So it's so Trevor Whitman, Rose number units.
I know Trevor Whitman, yeah.
Yeah, so he designed MMA gloves that are like very close to the UFC gloves, but like the UFC gloves, they've changed them since like the old days, I think because of John Jones. Like when he first started out, because your hands could essentially open the full way. And now it's like more to close them now. But Trevor Whitman's are like, they kind of keep your hands closed.
So what do they keep your hand kind of like a...
Yeah, like a shell almost. And it would be
Okay.
cool. I mean, after we'll go through the stoppages now, but also the no contests. But yeah, it'd be cool if the UFC could look at his gloves in particular, like just to stop eye pokes, because that was an intense like eye poke.
I'm trying to think how you would grapple like that, because
like with wrist control.
Okay, so wrist control possibly, but I mean with the Kimura you just need to bring your thumb in, so that's where you cup. Grips, you can go gable grip, that'll be fine. You can do that, especially if you can close, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes people like to use intertwine your fingers grip maybe. I'm just wondering. Maybe it could work. It's worth a try. I mean, if you still, you can still grapple with your hands like that, I guess. But sometimes you do want to have your hands flat, I guess. Like I've torn my or snapped or whatever my tendon at the top. You call it a mallet finger, because I had a grip on somebody's gi, so my hand was in that position.
Yeah.
And their body rolled over it, and then snapped it. It's painless, but it's a nagging injury, because you have to put essentially like for about 8 to 12 weeks, you have to have your finger straight. So you can still train with a splint on and everything.
Yeah.
But, I could see that maybe happening a lot. It's not a serious injury, but maybe that could happen. But maybe it's worth a try. I mean, it's better to stop this kind of thing happening, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but then probably something else will pop up.
Yeah, that's true. Like more of those injuries.
Probably you'll go for you'll have your hands like this and go for something, and it'll go in the person's eye maybe, or who knows, you know. Or maybe you're like standing, instead of like some people going like this now, maybe they're like this, and it's actually like directly in your eye. So I don't know.
Grow their fingernails out.
Yeah. So okay, the next one was Maycee Barber versus Amanda Ribas, TKO, punches and elbows, second round.
I can't believe I didn't back Maycee. Well, actually, I can, because I think that this fight was a big step up.
Yeah.
I didn't know she had that power. Like, very, very impressive.
And the toughness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like that was fight of the night for me. I think that those two like really battled it out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Ribas was the favorite, I think. Well, in our eyes at least, just because of all of the aspects that she did so well, like that we spoke about it last week, you know, but like her takedowns, her top control, she's good enough on the feet.
Yeah.
And strangely, actually, you know, she was doing a lot of that until just before the KO. She did her like little signature hip throw. And then, credit to Maycee, got back up to her feet and got the finish.
Yeah, I think the thing that really struck me was the head kick. Yeah, that was insane.
To set everything up.
Yeah, like that combination of head kick and then like take her down was like really impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, good fight overall, and probably on the main card at least, for sure the fight of the night. It's got to be. Knockout of the night, probably Onama. And performance of the night, possibly as well, maybe Maycee, or the main event, Ilia Topuria versus Josh Emmett. Lots to talk about in this one.
I'll let you start because you got it right.
Yeah, okay. So I got that one right. So what are we? We are 2-2, hey? It's a draw.
Yeah, draw.
Okay, so we drew this week, and we did say we would have a belt for this one, but we'll get to that as well in a second. So, 50, 44, 50, 42, 49, 45. So the first thing I want to get to is the judges' scorecards, because it's rare, and I actually didn't even know there was such a thing as a 10-7 in the UFC. I thought I was being smart by like trying to propose it, but basically... So we had Sol D'Amato scored the fight 10-9, 10-9. Okay, 10-9 across the board, except for round 4. He had 10-8 for Topuria, obviously. We had Chris Lee had 10-9, 10-9, 10-8 round 3, 10-7 round 4, and a 10-9 in round 5. We had Eric Colon had 10-9 for Josh Emmett in the first round.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't make too much sense to me.
No. That's crazy. 10-9 for rounds 2 and 3, and then a 10-8 for round 4, and a 10-9 for round 5. So, Chris Lee, again, somewhat controversial, I guess, at 10-7.
Yeah.
Did you agree with that being a 10-7?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think there's only 3 instances in UFC history where you get 10-7s. I did check it up afterwards because caught my eye. But I don't think that round 4, I don't think that is in like the hallmarks or like the history of 10-7 rounds. Yeah, it just like it's just quite arbitrary to give it, like why not 8-10?
10-8.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've really got to. I mean, in the old scoring, you had to really, really like batter someone to get a 10-8. And fair enough. I think some rounds are given 10-9 that should be 10-8. And I think if you look at this and this being given a 10-7, then possibly a 10-7 should be given more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's so tough, man. There's no right way to score. But then there needs to be a clearer distinction between a 10-9 and a 10-8. Because a 10-7, obviously, it's so rare that you really have to batter somebody.
Yeah.
A 10-9 and a 10-8 needs to be a clear distinction. Maybe they need to have a 10-10, a 10-10 round. If something's so close, I don't know what the chances are of something being a 10-10 round every single time.
Yeah.
Maybe then if it's 10-10 every round, maybe they just do referee's decision. I don't know. It's so tricky.
Yeah.
But a 10-7 is rare for a reason. And to me, if you have that as a 10-7, there's a whole lot of rounds where Cannonier and Vettori were fighting each other that could have been 10-7.
Yeah.
To Cannonier.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mm.
Yeah. It just kind of brings back into question if we could have some sort of notes or judges, like just more than just the scorecards, like some sort of interview. Because again, like Chris Lee, he's just like making like what I would consider arbitrary decisions. But yeah. I don't know. It would be cool to see that happen, but I don't have too much faith that is going to happen. I'm not sure if that's like rocking the boat that much.
I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I mean, look, these results are few and far between. Things like this happening. I know we've had it now twice in the last 4 events, but if you think about it, it's 2 fights out of 20. No, more if you add the prelims and the early prelims. So it's a rare occurrence that these judges' decisions are controversial. And we've seen some instances, but I think there has to be something maybe put in place, because in other sports you've got a replay where you can, or you've got VAR, for example, where you've got the third umpire, you've got a touch, your video match referee, or whatever they call it, in rugby, your TMO. So maybe they should have something. As a contingency if something is like super controversial. Yeah.
Or even to maybe like just like count the significant strikes, because I'm sure that the judges take that into account. But like if you just put it at a very statistical basis, because I mean, just to make it somewhat less what's the word,
controversial.
No, less
objective.
Objective, yeah.
Subjective.
Less subjective.
Yeah,
make
subjective.
It more,
sorry.
Yeah, where it's like this person did.
It's more objective.
Yeah, there was more output from this person, and like they got more significant strikes. I guess there's still some subjectivity in terms of what a significant strike is then. But yeah,
it's tough because you could maybe do. No, you can't even do it that way, because like in bodybuilding, they've got 5 judges.
Yeah.
And then they take away your highest and lowest score.
Oh, interesting.
So then if somebody's really up again, like going to try to make you come last, they're going to place you last unfairly, so that gets scrapped. And then if someone's really trying to get you to go first, they'll scrap that because you put them first. And then obviously if everybody has you in first, they'll still scrap your 2 of your first places, but you'll have 1s across the board.
Yeah.
And if everybody has you in last, you'll still have last across the board. And if you're somewhere in the middle, but you've got 2 judges that like or dislike you, they'll scrap those and you'll end up sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really affect you. But you couldn't do that in MMA because someone gives a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone gives a 10, then they're not going to scrap your 10. So don't really know. But hey, 10-7, listen, Topuria,
he did deserve to win.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I saw some jokes online of people saying like Emmett won rounds 1, 3, and 5. This is like,
no way.
I mean, it was obviously satire. It was a joke. Yeah. But Topuria, man, next in line for title shot after Rodriguez and Volkanovski. Must be. Like we said last week.
I kind of wish that Topuria did versus Rodriguez. I think that because now, I mean, if Rodriguez beats Alex, which is a very real possibility, I think. and then they run it back, then how long is Ilia going to be waiting? It's like unless they just like rule out a rematch or something, or Alex moves up straight away, even if he loses.
I think Volkanovski being such a long-time champion, they'll give him the straight rematch. I think look at Usman got knocked out cold and got his rematch. So I think Volkanovski, if he loses, gets it. If he wins, then I think Topuria and Volkanovski. But possibly Volkanovski's, I mean, he's done enough. He's done everything he can do. And I think beating Rodriguez is enough to like stamp your legacy. And then you can go up to lightweight and start focusing on that. Because also, if you think about it, at lightweight, yes, you've got Charles Oliveira. We've got Armin Petrosian as well.
That's how you can.
Sarukin. Yeah, sorry, getting the two almonds mixed up. Sarukin, who's also like, I mean, up there. So you've got them, but then after that you've got Gaethje, Poirier. It's kind of it's there's killers, but it's also like fairly empty to be able to challenge Islam. Yeah. And who knows what's going to happen with Gaethje and Poirier in any event. So possibly to have another challenger there is great.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be very, like, in my mind, they're very separate in terms of where Alex Volkanovski is versus like a Gaethje. Just like in two like separate parts of my mind. I don't know why, but like it would just be really cool to see like that fight play out. Yeah, very cool.
We learned a lot with the Islam fight. Like Volkanovski, I thought he was going to get crushed.
Yeah, no, like if there was a 10-10 round, or like if 10-10 rounds were allowed, I think that would probably be in his favor. Because imagine that third round, if that was a 10-10, I think he would have walked away with the win.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. So Topuria next up. Who knows, man? If if he waits, he might wait.
Yeah.
There's not really another fight that he can realistically would want to do besides a title fight.
He did say he would be willing to fight Holloway in Spain very specifically.
Fair enough. Holloway is still there.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun fight.
Yeah, that would be a very fun fight.
Any Max Holloway fight's a good fight, fun fight.
Yeah. I don't know who I'd have, because Max, I mean, like he's getting old, but he still beat Rodriguez. Like he's like, I don't know, and the top three, and I don't know, it's crazy. Max is just like a gatekeeper. It's crazy.
See, now again, if Volkanovski goes, where does it leave Max?
Yeah,
you got four guys up there, and if you look at Ige is sort of in there. I mean, because of his ranking.
Yeah,
that's, I mean, now Onama sort of coming up. It's
Featherweight.
Featherweight's a good division. Let's not forget about our favorite,
Aljamain.
Yeah. Don't do it, Aljamain. Don't do it. Got to get that in weekly. I'm joking. Do whatever you want. You're going to do it anyway. So no, okay, very very good event. What are you saying for this event overall? What are you giving it?
I can't retroactively take away my 7 from.
Didn't you give an 8.5 last week?
No.
I think you started at an 8.5 and then you dropped it to something else.
I'm gonna refactor my scoring a little bit. I'm gonna give this a 6.5.
Ooh, okay, that's what I scored last week. I'll give it I'm actually gonna give it a 7. So we kind of flipped it. Yeah, I think. Look. There was enough there because there was finishes besides obviously the no contest, and then I mean the main event could have been. I mean, you could have stopped that due to damage, but fair play to Josh Emmett. Yeah. So I'll give it. Yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I think that's a fair reflection of everything. It was an entertaining card.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, like we said last week, we're gonna have a weekly champion of predictions, and look, it was a draw this week. First off, actually, you know what? Let me first show you what we're playing for. So
I haven't seen this yet.
You haven't seen it yet, but this is the initial belt that we've got. So I'll do a little bit of a reveal this side. Oh, the zipper's actually on your side if you wanna. Yeah, you can unzip it. There we go.
Yeah.
So this is our weekly.
Oh, it's like
This is our weekly championship.
It's like the old
It's the old
generation.
gold belt. Yeah, it's the old gold belt. So this is what we'll be playing for initially. So this is for now our weekly chokes and eye pokes. I guess we can say World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
I think I won last week. I won 3-2, I believe.
Oh, we can play the tape back.
But in any event, home ground advantage. So I think I'll keep it this week.
Okay.
And then we'll get to the predictions for Strickland versus Magomedov.
Yeah.
So then we'll see if there's a new champion.
Yeah.
And then hopefully in the future we'll customize the belt to actually have it as a chokes and eye pokes heavyweight championship.
I do have a marker on me, so we can. I'm
yeah, make it like the old hardcore titles.
Yeah.
So this is our interim chokes and eye pokes weekly predictions championship. So yeah, it is a nice. I mean, I wish they would bring this one back to wrestling. They brought. I don't know if you saw. They brought back like a modified one with a big WWE logo in the middle. Like it looks so weird. Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of that one, but this is like the favorite. I've actually got 2 of these. I've got a different one, so
very nice.
We can maybe get double champ if we do a double prediction week. So become champs.
Yeah.
As we said before, because of the Austen Lane and Justin Tafa no contest, it'll be a good segue into our top 5, which we do weekly.
Yeah.
Which we try to do. We will try to do it every week. Let us know if you want to see any other top 5s down in the comments. Thought it'd be a good idea to do the 5. I guess not really the top 5 or the best 5. It's kind of the sort of 5 favorites or the 5 that stick out to you. No pun intended.
Yeah, good one.
So please you go first, Jack. What are your top 5 no contest?
Okay, well, I'm just going to refer to my notes. Oh, okay, yes. So top 5 no contests. For number 5, I have Rodriguez versus Stevens. Because I think that was a hilarious matchup. Shame. Rodriguez was obviously super emotional when he got the eye poke, and then they called it a no contest. But just like his immediate reaction was just hilarious because. Like Michael Bisping touches his shoulder, and you can see in the post-fight interview, and he just like calls him. Well, he just says like super loudly, like puta, and it was just like that. Yeah, I don't think you get many moments like that where on camera
it's like
Michael
an instant
Bisping.
Meme straight away. Yeah.
So that's number 5. In number 4, I have Alvarez versus Poirier. I think that was just like a really cool moment in sportsmanship where. I remember the crowd started booing Alvarez, and like it was like a bad stoppage. And then Poirier like just gets on the mic straight away and says like, "Don't boo this guy! Like, don't boo this man. He's a warrior." And it's just like that was really cool to see. And I think in MMA, it's one of the only like sports where someone's actively trying to hurt you, and that's the entire premise of the sport. And to see that like no, it's not a personal thing. It's just like this is what we do, and there's just so much mutual respect there. You know, that's really like very cool to see, and like what a class act from Dustin. And then for 3, I have Silva versus Diaz, which it was just like I don't know. It's so funny to look back on it because. Like it was just a hard fought fight, and then when Silva won, he was just like celebrating like crazy, and it was just like it was a monumental fight, like 2 huge names, and like 2 days later, like drug tests, they both failed.
Both get popped.
Yeah. So like that's number 3. And then for number 2, I have Bilal versus Edwards. So that I think that if that had gone through, that would have been like that would have reshaped the welterweight division. Now I think that like. Still up until that point, I was really excited for that fight because they were both on such like crazy win streaks. Edwards at that point, he'd only lost to Kamaru something like 8 years before then, and Bilal, he was on that tear. He's still on that tear. But yeah, someone's had got to go in that sense. And yeah, it was just such a shame. It was really sad to see. It was just like a very brutal eye poke. I would really like to see that fight get played back.
And it might.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, but yeah, it was just that's number 2, just because it's like the most tragic And then
in at number one,
John Jones versus Daniel Cormier 2.
Yeah.
Where John won, and then it got called a no contest because he also failed the drug test.
Yeah, with the picograms.
Yeah. It's just like that. That's probably, actually, I'm going to say that's the most tragic because, like Daniel, who valued his career so much at that point, then like he's if he wants to prove that he's better than John Jones, he's not like he's getting older. At that point, he's like 38 or 36, and John was like 31. So yeah, I think that left an unanswerable question to Cormier's career.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a great list, actually. There's some really, really good ones there, and I think they're really good with the magnitude of the situation of each one. But just on your number one, like I'm torn on that one a little bit because, yeah, of course, there's some. I mean, it's not confirmed; it's alleged. But I mean, if you've got metabolites, picograms, whatever,
yeah,
there's a high likelihood that you were doing something. But that doing something can give you some physical attributes that could give you an advantage. But you can have all the physical attributes in your world. Look at a guy like Hector Lombard, for example, had all these physical attributes, and when he got to UFC, he didn't do well at all.
Yeah.
I think John Jones, with or without, to me, it's not a tarnish on his name. I think it's a bit. Look, they got to do what they got to do, but it is sad. But I still think he won that. I mean, the head kick, all the gear in the world is not going to give you the ability to head kick like that.
And the follow through afterwards, and an amazing performance, absolutely.
The calmness and all of that. But it is sad because there is still. I mean, it is ruled a no contest. So that's another blemish on his record. So great top five, dude. I took really good top five. I think as well. Like I said, the magnitude of the results, and the magnitude of the fights, I think that's a great top five. And I've got two of the same as you.
Yeah.
So my top five, I've gone for a little bit of a different outlook. So mine is like a combination of a bunch of things, and I'll give reasons for each. So in at number five, I've got Hardy versus Sassoli. Dude takes his inhaler like mid-fight and says it's USADA approved. Like, what? Like, how do you, it's one of those funny after ones, like I thought of the funny ones that there were. So there was like obviously you had Silva Diaz. That's also hilarious.
Yeah.
But this one, like, takes your inhaler. It's USADA approved, bro. Can I take my inhaler? It's USADA approved. Like, I just thought that was hilarious. Another funny one. Actually, no. The number 4, I've also got Dustin Poirier versus Eddie Alvarez. It's always interesting with kneeing a downed opponent because you got like Aljamain Sterling versus Ariane happened. You've got this. I mean, there's a bunch of. Sometimes it's a no contest. Sometimes it's a DQ. But again, that moment is like you said at the end. It's the magnitude of the fight. They ended up having a rematch. Dustin Poirier ended up winning, but the magnitude of the fight at the time, I think it was also sort of like a title eliminator or was it interim back then? But it was huge. The second one was interim, where Poirier won, but it was I think it was a title eliminator, and then also the sportsmanship afterwards. Number 3, I've only got this number 3 and higher because of how funny it is. Mainly, it's Yair Rodriguez and Jeremy Stevens. The bit where he's like, I don't even think he knew it was Michael Bisping. Like he just didn't want anyone to touch him, and then he's like swearing at them. But also just because, the event was in Mexico with Yair Rodriguez being there, all the hype behind it, like it was actually built to be a really good fight. And it lasted 15 seconds. So you can understand why it was pissed off. You can do all that training for 15 seconds in front of your home crowd, and some dude's trying to rip your shoulder to the side to come do an interview. Like, come on, we would also probably be pissed.
No, absolutely.
And then he realized, okay, he's 185 pound, I'm 145. Let me just calm down. So in at number 2, I've got Holland versus Dorcas for a couple of reasons. So the head clash, firstly, was just like sick. As in not in a good way. But then also the whole referee deliberation on the outside. And it was just, he was just out cold. I mean, he was out, it was clean out. And it's like, to me, that's like a proper no contest. So number 2 and number 1 are like real proper no contest. I understand eye pokes and things are part of it and downed opponents that I had before, but this is like properly like he cannot continue. There's no, you were knocked out cold. Downed opponent, look at the Aljamain Sterling fight. People thought he could have continued.
Yeah.
Could he, couldn't he? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. There's no chance. And even at number 1, I've gone for Gray Maynard versus Rob Emerson. It was a tough 5 finale.
Okay.
So basically, Gray Maynard, I can't remember what round it was in, but Gray Maynard shot for a takedown.
Yeah.
And Emerson had him in a guillotine, so had his head under his arm. And as he took him down, Emerson was kind of like grimaced. So it was originally like they thought, okay, no, this is, it was out of pain, a verbal submission.
Yeah.
And Gray Maynard had hit his head. At the same time, what happened is they realized Gray Maynard had knocked himself out by hitting his head on the canvas.
Oh, and then they both got knocked out.
So they both basically couldn't continue.
Yeah.
And then Gray Maynard afterwards is like, no, I wasn't knocked out. And like this whole, he had the whole hazy, the whole hazy thing afterwards. But he was so clearly knocked out because he just went limp, turned around, all of a sudden he was like up again.
Yeah.
So that's definitely my number 1 because that's like both fighters gone, can't continue.
Yeah.
Proper no contest. Freak accident.
Yeah.
So that's my top 5. Let me know what your top 5 is. Top 5 no contests. Maybe not top 5 favorite, funniest, whatever you want to call it. Let us know in the comments if you agree with our lists, and let us know what other top 5s you'd like to see next week and the week onwards.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll do a Drickus themed one next week with our special guest.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
Possibly. Yeah. There's actually kind of a couple of avenues we can go with that one. So the next thing, I don't know if you saw, was I'm sure you saw.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Mark Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk. I mean, South Africans are taking over the UFC, eh?
Right.
Cameron, Drickus. Now we got Elon Musk, taking over the UFC.
I know he's got a tough opponent. I was watching.
Zuckerberg.
I saw the what's his name? The podcaster.
Yeah, Alex Friedman.
Yeah, he was doing BJJ with Mark Zuckerberg, and he's pretty good, honestly. Like, I was surprised. I did not expect that. I think he's got a belt.
No, well, okay, so yeah, so he's a white. I don't know if he's got his blue belt yet. So the white, everyone that does gi gets a white belt. So when you start, well, adults in any event, you've got kids belts, but white belt. He won a white belt competition. I'm not 100% sure what competition it was. So if it's like a state, national, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But he looked pretty good. I mean, his fundamentals are solid. I mean, he's a white belt or maybe a blue belt now. So he's not going to go and take on the best guys in the world.
Yeah. Not Charles yet.
No. No, not even remotely close. But against the person that's not trained, I mean, a blue belt should, if you're a blue belt and you can't take on a person, unless they're like, I'm not talking like where you weigh 140 pounds and they weigh 300 pounds and they're a former rugby player and you just do jiu-jitsu. I'm talking like similar body type, similar sort of being athletic. Maybe they're a little bit more athletic than you.
Yeah.
You should be able to, person walks up the street, you just grapple, you should be able to take them out pretty easily.
Yeah.
That's kind of part of being a blue belt, even a 4-stripe white belt or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, he's good. I mean, he's good against your average person that doesn't do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I don't think Elon Musk does jiu-jitsu. I've seen him in a gi with a white belt. He doesn't look very athletic at all. Mark Zuckerberg looks a lot more athletic.
You could just sit on him for a while.
Yeah.
Well. Like, if he takes it to, I don't know, because if he takes him to the ground, like maybe, I don't know. It's an interesting fight. I would like to see it I'd like to see it standing for longer than wrestling. That would be cool.
What is Elon Musk's style though? Because he claims to have had plenty of scuffles in the mean streets in Pretoria Boys High, and like, oh, you went to Pretoria Boys High, so you can tell us all about these scuffles.
Yeah, those are not mean streets.
Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, I don't know what's up. Yeah, I don't know. I know Zuckerberg's, he's got solid fundamentals, so maybe he's training for that fight. I know Dana White 100% seriously said he would do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he obviously it's about the money.
It would be a massive not payday for charity, I guess, but it would be like, that would be a huge, like, just media sensation.
Could you imagine how big the weigh-ins would be? Imagine how big the press conference would be.
Yeah.
It's not just MMA fans or fight fans, it's everybody. You've got, what is it, Meta versus Tesla.
Yeah.
You've got sort of a political thing because it's like Democrat, Republican, kind of. You've got that. You've got Battle of the Billionaires. Like, I think it's, he's like, they both in the top 10, I think, or top 20 at least.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that could play. Dana White reckons this could be triple the numbers of Conor and Mayweather.
Yeah.
I mean, it would.
Yeah, I think so.
People would buy it. People would pay to see it.
Yeah.
So what's that? What does that be like? 9 million pay-per-views, $150. They'll probably sell it for $200, so it's 1.8 billion just on the pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy. Crazy. Imagine the gate.
Yeah. But
break all the records.
But the thing is, I hope that it happens, and I just really hope that it's like they both take it super seriously and they're both willing to get hurt. Because like if it happens, I think that it will be kind of like just an exhibition where it's like maybe just like a grappling match. Essentially, no one's going to throw too many punches, but it would be cool to see like one of them like just like tee off. Like that's realistically not going to happen, but yeah, that would be a cool thought experiment at least.
What would be the undercard? Well, what would be the main card and the undercard for that? Or like, who would fight under them?
Yeah.
That would be crazy, dude. I would put my hand up to fight on that undercard, but honestly, like, do you know how much money you would get off the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
And casual fans would see you but I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who I would have winning. I'd want Elon Musk to win. But Zuckerberg, again, like he moves okay. Like his fundamentals are good.
Yeah.
In jiu-jitsu at least. So, and again, what is Elon's background?
He doesn't have one, surely.
Surely not. So, initial predictions, what are we saying?
I'm going to have Elon, actually. I think...
what method?
I think knockout, no. I think it's going to go to 5 rounds.
Via PK.
Yeah. I think 5 rounds and then decision. Yeah.
Do you think Elon can last 5 rounds?
I think 3 rounds decision.
Maybe have it a 3-round main event instead of a 5-round main event.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg via triangle choke? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's you would think that Elon would be able to take him down possibly. But maybe not,
But
like
when
is
they get to
Elon
the ground, what's going to happen?
I don't even know if Elon could take him down. Elon Musk doesn't look athletic in the slightest. So what's he going to do? Push him up against the fence maybe?
Yeah.
What weight would it be at?
I'd probably have to be like
some catch weight.
Yeah. I would like to see I would have liked to have seen more Jeff Bezos versus Mark Zuckerberg, because Jeff Bezos is like huge. So like that would have been like, at least they're both like somewhat athletically built.
We should just have all these billionaires fight each other for like to the death. No,
who gets the company?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're allowed to say that, so I don't know.
Okay,
but
take that away.
Take it away.
I know, it was a joke.
Joking. Yeah, that'll be interesting. We'll be watching if it happens. Definitely be watching. So we're gonna get to our preview of UFC Fight Night this Saturday. Strickland versus Makhmedov. Only the main card, of course, as usual. The first one is Sorry.
It's a hard name to pronounce.
Yeah. The first fight is Nursulton Ruziboev versus Bruno Ferreira. This is at middleweight. What are we saying for this one?
Bruno. I think Bruno pretty decisively. It's a weird fight weird matchup to make. I couldn't find anything on this guy. This Ruziboev, but he's also the favorite. He's the 165 favorite, and Ferreira is plus 140 underdog.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he's got an MMA record of 10-0, and his last fight was a win in the UFC, and it was a first round TKO. So it doesn't make too much sense to me, this matchup.
I think the thing that makes sense is I think Ruziboev was I don't know if it was Brave or it was another organization. I think he was a champion or close to being a champion. He was also on an 8-fight win streak. So his record's 34-8. It's not bad, really. I mean, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's also not the greatest, but like, dude, 42 fights. I mean, that's no slouch, but not really in the UFC yet. So look, I mean, it is his UFC debut. He is a seasoned veteran, but I also think Bruno Ferreira is just too good everywhere. He's too athletic as well. And he just has more tools to win this fight. I don't think it's going to be very one-sided though. Ruziboev is actually, I mean, he's not bad, but that's outside of the UFC. I mean, okay, no. He's much better than not bad. He's actually really good.
Yeah, okay.
But that's outside of the UFC. So Bruno Ferreira has proven it in the UFC. So but again, I just look at the styles. That's what I always try to look at. And Ferreira, much better style, much more athletic. more tools, just better in the smaller things all around. So yeah,
okay.
So we're agreeing on that
We're
one.
agreeing, yeah.
Yeah. We gotta get our picks right.
Yeah,
The
no,
title's on the
right?
line, Title's on the line next week. Okay, then we got Ismael Bonfim versus Benoît Saint-Denis. Denny, who you got in that one?
I have Benoît. I think stylistically he's got better chance. I just think that he's got 2 wins in the UFC, both TKOs and then 1 loss, and it was a tough fight. I think there was against Santos. Tough fight, and I don't know. He just seemed really tough in that fight. They're both unranked guys. I remember it was like a prelim fight, but yeah, it just showed like a lot. I don't know. He it really impressed me. I think that he takes this, but it's definitely a hard fight.
I've got the other way around. I've actually said Ismael. Couple of reasons. Okay, so first thing is on a 13 fight win streak. Okay, which is nothing to be scoffed at.
Yeah.
Okay. I look at the way that Benoît lost his last fight. It's not a fair reflection on his entire career, but it was a tough loss. Like, he took a lot of damage. Okay. In that being said, he was not. I mean, they probably should have stopped the fight earlier. But it showed his toughness. Okay, that's his key to victory in this fight, is his toughness. But I think Bonfim is a great striker, like a really good striker, has really, really good scrambles, great BJJ. He's just, for me,
very well rounded.
For me, he's very well rounded, and he's good at everything. It's not a question of like having decent skills everywhere. Like, he's actually good at everything.
Yeah.
So it is a close fight, but I think his style, for me, stylistically, it actually favors Bonfim. So I'm going to go with Ismael to win this one. And yeah, I don't venture to say how, but probably possibly a TKO, I think. I mean, it's going to be hard to put Benoît away. Benoît's so tough. But if Benoît can just weather that storm, catch him with good shots, he could win. But I think the gap in quality is probably going to be too big.
Okay. Yeah.
Then we've got, obviously, women's flyweight. We've got Ariane Lipski versus Melissa Gatto. Who you got for this one?
I Gatto.
You Gatto Melissa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a really cool matchup. I think that Melissa, she's got more knockout power, and I think this is actually a very tough fight to call as well, because it's going to be who can impose their game plan. I think that Gatto's got she's got more knockout power, and she can get to
Lipski, Ariane.
If she can get to Lipski, I think that then she wins. I think if Lipski can keep the distance and keep that range, she'll be able to win on points. All of her wins have been decision.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, majority of her wins at least.
Yeah, she seems like really good at that tactical fight. But yeah, I still see just the knockout power potential of Gatto.
Gatto. Yeah, I've also got Gatto. I think Lipski is a bit too static. In particular, and you can't be against Melissa Gatto. Melissa Gatto's got more tools. She's also, again, more dynamic.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to try to make a statement after her last fight. Yeah, it was a loss. So I think she'll come back and make a statement. There's going to be a question on whether, the first time you lose, there's always a question on, are you going to come back stronger? Is it going to mess you up mentally?
Yeah.
But I think she'll come back stronger and really, really try and make a statement in this one. And she's got all the tools to do it.
Yeah.
So possibly, because of how static Lipski is, possibly KO or TKO. And because, like you say, with the power.
Yeah.
But I think, Gatto for me is the clear one to win this one for sure. Next week at welterweight, we got Max Griffin versus Michael Morales. What are we saying for this one?
I have Griffin.
You got Griffin?
I have Griffin. I think that he's a veteran. I know that there's a lot of promise from Morales. I know that he's like a young talent, but yeah, Griffin, he's a veteran, been around for a long time. I mean, recently his only loss has been to what's his name? Goodness, sorry, I do have it here. It was Neil Magny. Yeah, his only recent loss. Other than that, he's got quite a good resume. I think that just the experience here it puts him in good stead. I think it puts him over the top.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, that is true. I mean, look, I've gone the other way. I've got Michael Morales. For me, just too much. It's going to be too much. I think also if you look at the Gurum fight that Max had,
I
think Gurum actually won that fight. In my opinion, it was actually, it was a split decision for Max. Yeah, I actually think for me, this is probably one of the clearer victories on the card. And I know the last time I said that it didn't fare well for me, but I just look at the way Morales fights and, yes, Max Griffin is more seasoned, more tested. It is kind of, I don't want to say it's make or break for him, but I just think but it is actually. Yeah. So I don't know.
Go from here.
Exactly. Yeah. I've got Morales for this one.
I mean, it's the toughest one for me to call, but I do think just experience wise.
Did you look at the betting odds?
Or? Yeah. Oh, yes. Max Griffin is a underdog 170.
It's not a bad call. I mean, that's a decent call to go with it. So if you want to go bet on that, then go for it. I don't know where those odds are, but if
no, from the UFC website.
All right. Okay. Cool. Okay. So all right. Then we've got Demir versus Grant Dawson. It's also really, 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 really good. Demir from Kazakhstan. Dawson ranked number 15. What are we saying for this one? It's actually, sorry, before we get to that, really, really good in terms of their records. I mean, 24-2, 19-1-1. That's like, I mean, that's good record versus good record. So what are you saying for this one?
I have Dawson written down here, but also I can see that I wrote down Demir and then scratched it out because it is very tough. I think they're both like quite similar in terms of their style. But the reason I have Dawson was because he won over Gordon. And it's like both submissions. So he has 2 wins in the UFC, and I think the average fight time for Demir was 15 minutes. And like all of his fights, you can see like, I don't know, he's if he gets caught by Dawson, I think that it'll be over.
I've also got Dawson for this one. Like, first off, okay, Demir's got he won 19 fights before he lost to Armin. And that's, I mean, Armin's up there. So we've spoken about him before. So it's going to be tough for Grant Dawson. I don't know. I mean, Grant's also on an 11-fight win streak. And again, I've also got him there also because he beat Gordon. Gordon is a beast.
Yeah.
And I just, again, look at the styles. And I think, again, he's just a bit too athletic. Demir is great. Like, he's great, and his record shows that.
Yeah.
But again, styles make fights. Whoever's quickest to the punch, whoever's quicker in the scrambles. And I think Grant Dawson is going to be that guy. And then next, obviously give him a top 10 opponent then, maybe like top 7, something like that, and see where he's at with that.
Yeah. Don't give him to Taryukin yet.
Not Taryukin just yet, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, let him fight for the title.
Yeah, you think?
Taryukin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Already?
I hope.
Yeah. I would like to see him like break into the top 5, but like that's just such a hard
Benil. We said Benil as well. That's also a good fight for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Dawson, I don't know how. Maybe decision.
I think submission.
Submission. What, rear naked choke?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Then we get to the main event. This is an interesting one. It's always interesting with Sean Strickland because like it can go really bad, really well, kind of close.
I don't know why he's taking this fight though.
Maybe there's no. I mean, what are the options has he got?
I think but sure, you can wait or something like.
For who though?
Yeah.
Who's he waiting for? Costa?
Does
he want that fight?
Yeah, probably not.
Dricus? Does he want that fight?
Yeah, no, he wouldn't.
But
then I think that stylistically, this is probably like one of the worst options as well because he fights like like
are you ready for a duel?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that kind of style.
Yeah. And if you look at Magomedov's last win, where you just that kick up the middle, like if that catches Strickland like once,
done.
Yeah, done. And he's shown no defense for that. I mean, I know he's been sparring with Alex, and so he commented on his defense quite a lot in the vlogs. So I suspect maybe defense is a focus for him at the moment. But
do you believe that?
I don't think that I don't know. I just don't see why he would take this fight because I can't see him winning, if I'm honest.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be very similar to the Pereira fight, where he's kind of just sort of flat-footed and he's trying to do a shoulder roll, but he's getting whacked the whole time. And but this guy, Magomedov, dude, he's probably going to get some sort of a flashy KO, I think, similar to the Alex Pereira one, where it's like a highlight reel type KO.
Yeah.
Because look, Strickland's tough, okay, and it was close with Cannonier, but I don't know. Strickland for some reason wants to stand when he fights. So I think he needs to try to maybe wrestle, but Magomedov's got good grappling as well.
Yeah, a Dagestani that went to Germany.
Yeah, well, he's German. He's German now, but yeah, I mean the surname, of course.
Yeah.
And also, look, Strickland's very shaky against top competitors. He had a good run, and then he went and lost to Pereira, lost to Cannonier, even though split decision. So I mean, this guy's good so far. He's not ranked with anything, but I mean, he's got a good resume outside of the UFC. So
and great highlight reel from that last fight from his debut. Yeah, I don't know. I if I was Sean Strickland's management, I'd just wait. I'd wait, find another fight, like fight Brendan Allen. Like do that again. I don't know, because this, I don't know. It's all, if he wins, he stays in the same place. He's going to be 7. If he loses, like,
I don't know if he'll stay. I mean, he'll probably stay 7, but at least he'll get a good fight on on that, because it is a bit of a hype train with Magomedov, and I mean, you don't jump into a main event after such few fights, even if it's not a pay-per-view, by not having a bit of hype behind you.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, maybe again, like if you don't fight in the UFC, if you don't fight and you just keep rejecting fights, and you're not as big a draw as you might think you are, you can get cut.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of things that play into it. Maybe Strickland needs the money. Yeah. Maybe he has to fight. Who knows what his contract says?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we don't know. So, but I mean, one thing's for sure. I think we're both going for Magomedov. Strickland dropped down the rankings. If he loses, Magomedov into the top 15 straight away, easily.
But that's also, I don't know, like it's a bit of an FU to the ranking system in general, because like this guy's he's had one UFC fight. I know that he's coming in with like an impressive resume, but that didn't even happen with Alex, like Ferreira, when he was a champion at it was one, not, or was it Brave?
No, was it Glory?
Glory, yes, sorry. But he was a champion at Glory, and then he still needed to like win a couple fights before he got main card. So I don't know. It's like
Oh, he did also jump the queue though, because of the story with Adesanya. That's why I thought Dricus would kind of jump the queue, because also he had a story with Izzy.
Yeah.
But it is true. I mean, it is a bit of a FU to the rankings, but and I'm surprised on American, because it's like a Bo Nickel story where you put him on the main card, his debut above people that are like Dricus, who's like, it was like 4-0 in the UFC. So, or like Rahul Rosas Jr. being placed above Cameron Simon, and Cameron Simon's just been impressive performance after impressive performance, and he's still on the. He might now finally be on the prelims for the UFC 290 because his fight got rescheduled. But I think he was on the early prelims before that. He's still the first fight on the early prelims after all of that. So, I mean, anyway, that's a little side note.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next week on the UFC 290. So, okay. So, we're both going Ferreira. You're going Benoît. I'm going Ismael. We're both going Gatto. You're going Griffin. I'm going Morales. We're both going Dawson. And we're both going Magomedov.
Yeah.
So there's a potential for a tie again.
I know.
Or there's a potential for a clear victory. So it'll be interesting to see, next week what the results are.
Yeah, I mean, I can change it to Morales instead of Griffin, but I'm going to stick to my guns.
Yeah, maybe that will come back and either haunt you or be a good decision.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Thank you guys again for watching. We really appreciate the support. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all of that. And please, again, stay tuned next week for our episode with our special guest. We're going to be reviewing the UFC 290 card and go a little bit in-depth specifically into Cameron and Dricus's fight. So please tune in for that one. And until next week, Have a good week, everyone. Cheers.